Hey, what's going on? So just a little update. I hadn't been feeling too good for the last couple of days. Like my chest had been hurting, and got to the point where I was thinking maybe it was just me not cleaning my CPAP machine. You know, you got to clean your CPAP machine, otherwise, uh, you could get infected from like the bacteria and stuff like that. And so I was like, maybe that's what's going on with me. So I went I went, of course I cleaned my CPAP machine, but I went walking this morning, and I'm telling you, I didn't even get like 4 minutes around the track when all of a sudden my heart rate started racing. I felt like I couldn't hardly catch my breath. I was just walking, and but like I said, my chest had been hurting for a couple of days. But I really did. Like I said, I just thought maybe it was just something that I needed to do as far as my CPAP. So anyway, I felt like I was about to like pass out, and so I was like, "Yo, man, let me." I started to go to the hospital because it was right around the corner. But then I said, "Well, let me call the VA and see what the nurse say." And they was like, "Yeah, you need to come into the ER. We're gonna already set up the information for you. So when you come in, all you gotta do is come in. You'll be already in the system." So I went to the VA, and then what they did, they asked me what my symptoms were or whatever. Then instead of me being at the regular ER, they took me on another side where people who've had shortness of breath, respiratory problems, whatever, they took them separately. Uh, they take you to a whole nother part of the ER. So that's where I was. So anyway, what I did was they took blood from me. They took an X-ray, gave me a mask first, and then I just sat there. And I'm telling you, I was laying there, and my chest started hurting even worse. I was like, "Yo, man, what's going on?" And every time I had to get up, it would stop. But then when I lay back down, it'll hurt again, man. And the pain would be like 4 or 5 out of 10. So anyway, they took X-ray. They checked me out. They was like, "Well, we don't see anything. We don't see anything on the X-ray. Nothing came back as far as the blood works, as far as I know." Um, and I didn't have a fever, no coughing, um, no aches. Well, other than my chest pain. And they was like, "Well, that don't qualify you as taking a test for the coronavirus." So I was thinking at least I get a test to see if I got it, because they don't have no cure for it. All they're gonna do is be like, stay at home, and if your symptoms worsen, then you come to ER, and then of course, put you on a ventilator if you get to that point. But I couldn't even get the test, man. I'm like, dang, I can't even get the test. This is terrible. And then I started thinking to myself, there are people who don't have any symptoms, and yeah, they are celebrities or famous or rich, and they can get the test without having any symptoms whatsoever, and they found out that they got it. Like Kevin Durant and some other people. They don't have no symptoms. But I have shortness of breath and pain in my chest, but I can't get the doggone test. Something wrong with that. And we already know what it is. I mean, first of all, they don't have enough tests. Second of all, it shows you that if you got money, certain things can happen. That's just the way it is, right? It shouldn't be that way. But it's kind of terrible that someone can go get tested without having any kind of symptoms, and then somebody who has symptoms, at least one or two, can't get a test, can't get tested. Somebody in pain can't get tested, but somebody seems like they're perfectly fine can get tested. Something wrong with that. Anyway, they told me to self-quarantine myself. First it said 14 days. Then the paperwork says wait for 3 days. Well, self-quarantine yourself, wait for 3 days. And if symptoms worsen, then come in. They said normally within 3 days or whatever, symptoms worsen. They got so many different things because this paper says sometimes it takes, what it says, 7 days or a week. No, it said wait at least a week before returning to work or school, and at least 72 hours before your symptoms have resolved. 72 hours, and that's 3 days. It also said something about, what did it say? I think it said something about it could be a week or so before you even know that you got symptoms. Something like that. 2 weeks, I read. Anyway, I'm like, yo, man, that's a long time. Anyway, you should be able to self-quarantine 14 days. I'm like, oh, who knows how long? If I even have it, who knows how long I've had it? So the 14 days could be tomorrow. Maybe this is it showing up. You see what I'm saying? Like they'll be like, oh, wait 14 days to see if you have any symptoms, then go in and get tested. Well, I mean, I don't know how long, if I have it, I don't know how long I've had it. And it could very well have been 14 days, and this is the time to go in and get tested. But yet, you don't have any advanced symptoms, so can't get tested. It's just messed up all the way around, man. I at least want to know if I got it. But now I got to self-quarantine myself for my family. And only two good things came out of this. They gave me a mask, because you can't get no mask nowhere. And I got a chest x-ray. That's it. That's it. My chest still hurt. They ain't give me nothing from my chest. I ain't no doctor. All I know, my chest hurt. You know? But I don't know, people. Just be careful. Just be careful, man, because there ain't no telling what happened. But I'm just letting you know what I had to go through, going to the VA hospital, going to the hospital. Because I've heard of people going to the hospital, not necessarily the VA hospital, but going to the hospital, getting tested, have the coronavirus, and be sitting home for quarantine. And only if their symptoms persist, would they, or gets worse, and would they go in? I've heard people going home, not being tested, having to go back because they get the symptoms worse. I don't know. I just don't want that to happen to me. I don't feel too good right now talking, so I'm gonna quit talking. All right.